Hello out there in the void, and man, this lighting is terrible today. Sorry about that, everyone, but had a light go out, and not really the ability to fix it today at this point. So, subpar lighting, wacky fun. All right, last time I mentioned we're going to begin a much longer running series. Well, probably didn't expect me to hit the CG movies first, but here we are. So, today, Resident Evil Damnation. Okay, so now a lot of people are familiar with the live-action Resident Evil series, which is so far and away from the video games that they're pretty much their own entity. These ones, the CG movies, actually take place within the continuity of the video games. Resident Evil Damnation takes place between, I believe, Resident Evil 5 and 6, and follows Leon S. Kennedy and Ada Wong, as they run rampant over an Eastern European country with the Plagas going crazy again. So, now the live-action films are kind of divisive. A lot of people like them, a lot of people do not. I'm not sure what the general consensus is for the CG movies. Not many people talk about them. And I might be able to see why. Now, I actually watched this one yesterday, and my mind has already hemorrhaged most of the details. It was okay, I guess. The plot line, the problem was, I mean, you drop Leon into the Eastern European, have him running around with half supporting, half against these local terrorists who's trying to overthrow their leader's regime. They seem to be using the BOWs, or their bioorganic weapons, but so does the government, and who's really the bad guy, and back and forth, and it's both convoluted and amazingly simple all at the same time. But the way they presented it was, you couldn't figure out who you're supposed to be rooting for between the two teams, other than to end up saying maybe I shouldn't be rooting for anyone other than just to see Leon get his ass out of this. Only for things to more or less just Deus Ex so hard at the end that's like, why were the characters even there? So the storyline of this one, it was not the easiest to follow, and even when you could, it just seemed pointless. It's not a good thing. Admittedly, I haven't played 5 or 6 for Resident Evil, so I don't know if that would have helped, but I don't think so. But on the other end, the CG in this movie, it's fucking beautiful. It looked really good. It was a very good-looking movie. I will not deny that. The CG alone itself, okay, 2 thumbs up. Good job. But this plot line, the story, and even some of the voice acting, particularly for JD, I think his name was, this Eastern European. I don't even think they properly named the country in there. The back just says Eastern European. I can't remember. Anyway, his accent was... The accent was okay, but the voicing was obnoxious. And he's in it a lot more than he should be, and when they're trying to make him sympathetic, it's just like, I could if you just shut up. I wanted to like this one. I did. I mean, I do actually like the live-action series, and there's an earlier made Resident Evil animated movie that I'll probably actually be reviewing next that I liked more. Now, for the Dead Space movies, I talked about whether you could watch them whether or not you'd seen the series or played the games. This one, don't bother. You won't be able to follow it. I have knowledge of it, and I was having trouble following it. It doesn't introduce you to who Leon is, or Ada Wong. It just plops them in there and expects you to already know them, as well as what the Plagas is. If you don't know, it's this weird parasite that works as some sort of mind control entity before turning your head into a big squiddly thing. It also lets you control other VOWs. So the zombies in this that Resident Evil is more infamous for are more weird parasite tentacle things. There's this weird political coup / terrorist extermination plot lines going on. It was hard to care. It was. So no, this one doesn't hold up at all without knowledge of the series. So, with how good looking this one was, I wanted to give it a higher rating. I did, but I can only give this one 2 MacGuffins. I'm straining to even remember the plot the next day. It's not good. I'm disappointed. I'm honest. I hadn't seen this one before, so it was a bit disappointing. I couldn't even get the significance of a lot of the events that were going on. I really couldn't. Suddenly there's these giant, heavily armored, indestructible guys. I didn't know what they were supposed to represent or why. It seemed like they were significant, but I hadn't played those parts of the games, I guess, so they're hard to kill. I mean, the action scenes, those by themselves, are cool. They're well filmed. And it's really cool to see both Leon and Ada Wong doing their thing. Particularly Ada's fight against the, wherever the hell this is, lady president. Their fight is cool. I liked watching the action sequences. But all the connective tissue in there was strained and did not work. So, it's a bunch of cool action sequences, really well animated, strung together by the thinnest of plots that doubles back in and around itself so much just to try to complicate it, and it doesn't work. No. Give Damnation here a pass. That's all I really got on this one. Alas.